Go, everyone. If you're here and you can hear me, please. I would like to see your comment from the comment section. Hi, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. If you're joining from whatever part of the world, it's evening here, so good evening. We're just gonna order for few more minutes so that we can have more people joining and we can be an active part of this. I'll to become a phonics addiction teacher in 3 days. Welcome to day 3. I'm so excited that you're here. I believe that you've been able to take day 1 and day 2, and if you haven't, please check your mailbox. I'm sure it's there, sitting pretty waiting for you. Today, day 3 is going to talk about so many things that you probably understand from day 1, day 2, and it's also going to address your questions, and it's also going to help you get on the next phase of those journey. I am very excited here, and I would wait for a few more minutes so that we can have more people joining us. We do not want anyone to miss out on this webinar. Thank you once again for joining in. I'm so excited that you're here. As soon as you join, you can just introduce yourself in the chat box. Tell us your name and where exactly you're from, or where you are joining us from in Nigeria. And if you're out of Nigeria as well, we can do the same thing. So in the chat box, you have to tell us where you are and where you're from. We'd like to know you. We'd like to address you by your name. In the meantime, while we're waiting for others to join, we're gonna see a scan a barcode on your screen. It also has a link. It's your feedback form. We just want to know how well we've been able to do. Would like also to hear your views. Want to know what we did great during the course and what we can do better. So please, while wait for others to join in, kindly scan the barcode on your screen. I gotten beaten. Welcome from Nigeria. Great. Amazing. I'm glad you're here. I Oshikomo. I hope I pronounced that right, Sarah. Joining from overstate. Nice, great. I can't wait for you to be the next big diction teacher in overstate. That would be a very great privilege. Yeah. Welcome. So this Canvas barcode, or you can type in this link. We'll have to hear how well we did, what you took away from day 1, day 2, and what you think we can do better. We just want to have your feedback. That would help us in future when they're planning this again, or when we're working on this, would it help us improve and do better. Welcome. So we'll just wait for 5 more minutes and 6 turn on the dot whether it gets started. In the meantime, please scan the QR code on the screen to fill in your feedback. Let's have your feedback. Please would like to hear your feedback. We can scan the QR code on your screen and give us feedback on what you've learned so far. Day 1, day 3. This should be very helpful for us as we help other people with this journey. Okay, in 3 minutes, we're going to get started. We hope that more people join in the next 3 minutes. Well, in the meantime, please do ensure that you scan this QR code and also the website link. If you can't scan the QR code, you can just type in the website link and it will take you directly to the form. It's a feedback form. We just want to hear how well we've done. Down. and hear that from you. If you're joining us, please introduce yourself in the chat box. I'd love to know you, your name, and where you're joining from in Nigeria. Okay, and if you're famous from Nigeria, that's fine too. Just let us know where you're from. Once again, thank you so much for joining, Sarah. Thank you so much for joining. But I'd bitter. Okay, we'll start in 2 minutes. 2 minutes from now, we go live. Okay. I fight Fazia from Nigeria. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining in. Will I say that if you join in at the stage, please just scan the QR code. It's a feedback form. We want to know how well we've done. Bit 1, bit 2, as being eventful like me. So we want to hear your feedback. We want to hear your thoughts. We want to also learn from you where are the areas of improvement that we can focus on. I'm glad to have you here, and I do believe that it's going to be an amazing section today. It's a brief section, but it's an impactful one. That's the goal. If you observe all of our courses, we try to make them as brief as possible. Why? Because we want to ensure that you do not forget any of the details. Very important to us that all of the details that are given out in the course are necessary and you're able to remember them. So I promise you this webinar is not going to take long, but I can assure you that you're going to get value for your time. So once again, I'm glad you're here. Thank you for taking our time to join in. Please scan the QR code on your screen right now. The link as well. You can press the link so that you can get on the form, and yes, we'll be able to take it from there. Thank you so much. Which starts now. All right. So, before we get started, let me know how many of you are taking B1 and B2. Just in the case of the chat box, I've taken B1 and B2, or what day you've taken, just indicate in the chat box. That would help me also understand where to meet your asks. All right. I've taken B1 and B2. Please put it in the chat box. I couldn't B1 only, or I've put in B2. Just put that in the chat box. Thank you. Oh, Ademi has taken B1 only. Uh-oh. Ademi, what happened? Why didn't he fit B2? This is quite interesting, you know. Say up B1 and B2. Thank you. Ademi, you can reach out to us privately after this webinar so we can know how to support you to ensure that you take B2. Oh, sorry, I'll break the 1 and B2. Great. Amazing. Okay. But you couldn't access the link. All right. We'll find a solution to that. But in the meantime, have you tagged any of the admins on the group? Please tag any of the admins on the group. They will be able to help you resolve that. Why you couldn't access the link? That's worrisome, but it's okay. It's something that can be fixed. So please tag any of the admin on the link there and tell them what exactly was the problem. If it's that the link wasn't loading, you want to also support with a screenshot. Okay, a screenshot of what you see whenever you try to load the link. All right, great. But a beat has taken B1 and B2. Amazing. Today, we want to focus on how do you get started and how do you profit from this skill. I understand that you signed up probably because you're already a phonics teacher. You want to become a phonics teacher, or you want to become a diction teacher or an elocutionist, or you are already practicing. But for some reasons, you feel that there are certain knowledge gaps, or you're not making as much money as you would like to make, or you want a skill. Honestly, there are different reasons. Maybe I should take out this time to even ask you, for those of you joining right now, Let me ask you, at what stage of this journey are you at? I don't know how, or I've done this before, it didn't work out, or I just need to know, how to teach it. So I'll just like to understand your journey. That would also help me ensure that this webinar meets you at the very point of your need. So you can put it in the chat box and tell me what stage of this journey you are at. Why did you sign up for this course? So why did you think, oh, I can dedicate, my time to this? So let us know why. You can drop that in the chat box. Yes, I'll let you read your why. I'll let you know your why. Why are you why did you sign up for this? This should also help me understand how to direct this conversation and ensure that everyone's need is met, at least to a very large extent. Today we're going to also talk about how you get sparked and how you begin to profit from this skill. Okay, you've learned the differences between phonics, phonetics, diction, elocution. You might even find yourself at that valley where you're like, okay, so what exactly should I even be focusing on? Okay, Sarah has pressure knowledge. She wants to improve. Great. We're in the right place. You might even find yourself asking questions like, should I really be focusing on phonics? Should I focus on, becoming a diction teacher? Should I just focus on phonics and teaching the Tracy? I can do both. So why can't I? Because, you might have several thoughts. Okay. It's good. It's a good one. All right. I'd like to hear more from other people on this call right now. Okay, you're at the stage where you want to really understand how to teach phonics better and attract clients. Great. Adian. Oh, public speaking roles. So that means you would like to be an elocutionist. Great. All right. As you can see, everyone is on a different journey. And that's why this kind of webinars are very important. It helps you understand what's journey. You have to understand how to move ahead on your journey. You don't have to get stuck, trust me. You don't have to get stuck on this. All right, that's why we're here. We're here to help you. Great. So here I have someone who already knows but wants to improve. I also had someone who also understands phonics better. And I also have someone who wants to be an elocutionist. She wants to use it for public speaking. Amazing. Good. So for every of this person, I can assure you that you're in the right place. And let's just talk about very quickly how you can get started and how you can profit from this skill. I think let's discuss what you can do with this skill. Now, Leo and Mr. Light is spying through my slides. So you get actually like a public speaking trainer. So you can train people to become public speakers. Okay? You can do that with this skill. It'll be full or a part-time phonics, diction, or elocution teacher. So now, these three things you must have seen from our B2 lesson. Was it B2 now? Yes, I think our B2 lesson. Or was it D1? Yeah. You must have seen where we have differentiated between phonics, diction, and elocution. All right? So you can be out of this. It's actually a great skill, and you can choose to just niche down and focus on being the phonics teacher, or focus on being a diction teacher, or focus on being an elocutionist. Okay? Now, you can also make money from this skill by becoming an online ESL teacher. Okay? You teach ESL online. Great. You can also be an offshore ESL teacher. Okay, an offshore ESL teacher here means a teacher that is employed abroad to come and teach ESL. And there are certain countries that we will introduce you to in the next phase of this course that would give you the links where you can go teach ESL outside of Nigeria. Okay? And you can also become an online content creator, especially if you're a camera, you're programmer. So you can go and begin to teach online. become a content creator, and your mooch becomes elocution or phonics. You can also be a private tutor. Oh, if as a private tutor, I did this in my early days, I did this in my early years, and I met what coins. I'm talking about politicians' kids here. So you can be a private tutor whereby you teach these kids, elocution. Because a number of I net what kids, clients, oftentimes look for, they want their kids to be very confident, they want them to be very expressive, they want them to be able to have the neutral accent, not necessarily the British or American. Well, some do want that. Those that want that would send their kids to schools that are owned by Britons or Americans. But some of them just want them to have the eye command of, for eye usage of language, mastery of the language. And trust me, it was a very fun experience while it lasted. So you could become a private tutor to this iNet Water Prize. Okay? And you could also be a teacher trainer. Now, don't trust them playing about auto business. You can be out of it. Okay, maybe minus the often offshore ESL teacher, you need to stay in that country. But out of this, you can be all of them. So you can work as a public speaking trainer if you understand the location. You can work as a full-time or part-time phonics diction teacher. Quite frankly, I'm more for the part-time. I may not be able to help you so much on the full-time aspect because I'm pro use your skills to make money. And if you are a full-time teacher, you might not be able to yield the kind of amount of money that is possible for you to make. Okay? So you can become a part-time teacher, you can be a public speaking trainer, you can be an online EFL teacher, you can be an online content creator, you can be a private tutor, you can be a teacher trainer. In other words, you can make different amount of money for each of this. Now, just let me wrap you, let me blow your mind. Imagine that as the public speaking trainer, you make in a month, so you make 200,000. As a part-time teacher of phonics, fiction, or elocution, you also make another additional 200,000. Let's just assume you work with maybe 3 schools or you work with 4 schools. Then, as an online ESL teacher, you make, let's just make this figures of maybe $500. Are you calculating your money that way? Then I will skip the offshore part because, like I said, you can't. If I merge the offshore ESL teacher with the rest, then for the online content creator, you're building your personal brand, which could open you more to speaking engagements, trainings, kinds, and all. That's I may not be able to put a price on it, okay? But depending on how great you are with your online content, it could actually go viral and push you into the eyes of those that should see you. And before you know it, you become an influencer in that point. In fact, the moment you can make it big in that niche, you might even retire the rest of all without your set. Okay? And you become an influencer there. So let's assume you grow your brand steadily, and by month 6, you're able to make 5,000 USD. As a private tutor, when I used to do private tutoring, I charged per hour. And this was way back. The last private tutoring I did was in 2017. And in 2017, I was charging 10,000 per hour. And I ensured that I did not work more than 4 hours every week. Okay, so right now, this is 2025. You made me a prize. So I wouldn't leave you to fill in the gap. As a teacher trainer, every workshop I do, if it's physical workshop, if you are part of our partnering schools, that is, you're a partner with us. So in other words, our teachers come to your school. That is when I can be very lenient with the pricing and say, okay, you know what, let's do 50,000 for one day. But if you're not part of our partnering schools, I'll give you a course outline and you choose what exactly you want to get your teachers trained for. And that's the invoice you would get for it. The pricing on that list is what you get as your invoice. So what am I trying to say? I'm saying that I don't want to scare you. I don't want to make it look as if I'm exaggerating, because I am not. But the good thing is you're good. You're really good. And you understand why you're doing this. You can instantly make a millionaire per month. Within now and the next 6 months. Because you need to be working, you need to build stamina, you need to put yourself out there, you need to be good. There's so many other aspects by which you can make money, but I don't want to go outside of what I have on this list, but that is a frank truth. So if you actually really do think that this is something you want to pursue in 2026, I can tell you that for a fact, you're in the right place. Okay, so for those of you that have taken the day 2 course, you would realize that we have talked about 21 vowel sounds. I said that some school of thoughts would say that this is 20. So I want to just draw a bit more on the 21st vowel sounds. This is also because you might find yourself in argument with phonics teacher. I remember back in UB, I would have some, I don't know, without calling formal phonics teachers or wannabe phonics teachers, I don't know, but I become again. I say, well, how would you say letter I sounds A? Letter I sounds E. And it was always fun. What I love those kind of arguments. Yeah, there's this confidence you have when you go into arguments, especially where you can defend this. So, and I'll say, yeah, I can explain if you have the dictionary. Well, interestingly enough, the only dictionary that recognized this semi-forced sound for a very long time was Longman Dictionary. Then in 2018, I think, yeah, 2018, we had the, was it 2018 or 2019 now? I think it's 2018. We have the Advanced Learner Revised, Oxford Advanced Learners. It was a revised, form, and it was updated. And I was so glad that I had stuck to my teaching of 21 sounds since 2014, when the only proof I had for that was a long line dictionary. So in 2018, Oxford was able to keep up, and they were able to include the 21st vowel sound. So what's the 21st vowel sound? I've put that on the screen here, so it could be very helpful. I also realized that in Big 2, there was an error in writing the sound, and which was not really differentiated. Now, letter I, as you may want to call it, is repeated in 3 forms when it comes to phonetics. So we have it repeated with a dot on top, a dot on top. This dot on top is called E. Just very short E, right? E. Don't stress it, don't force it, E. Then we have the I. A. Very short A. Then we have the E. The E. So I'm going to take it again. E. I. E. Now, I'll have Q identify where this words can be found. So first, they can be found in words that end in Y. So the first E can be found in words that end in Y. Let's look at some examples. Easy. Easy. There's an old E there, but that's not the focus. Because I wanted to focus on the Y. Z. 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 Billy V. There's also, the E, E, B, B there. Okay? Now, we have the I. Please don't call it A. It has a different sound. It's just very short, because in the short sound, it's called D. This is the sound you will hear some phonics feature called D for you. It is not E, it is I. The one about this E is the one with the dot. The one without the dots is A. Okay? I mean, it is found in words that have letter I, letter E, or AR. So here are some examples. 6. So wherever you, for those of you especially teaching phonics, who want to teach phonics, this is very important. So you don't go and say S-I-T, seats. But it is 6. Sit. Sit down, guys. Sit down, everyone. Sit. Because the letter I there sounds I, not E. The next thing we have there is plantain. Occasionally, we air quality plantain, unless you come from Brazil or the Caribbean. Those are the ones that tend to call it plantain and get us saying that because we Nigerians call it plantain. Oh, I heard so. What is plantain? Tin. Can you get it? Plantain. I deliberately use this example because I know that every Nigerian will be able to relate to this. Plantain. So the AI there sounds Okay. And the last example here is E. That's a long sound. It's this founding words that have EE, EA, IE, the I, like C's. I'm gonna play a funny word. I'm gonna do a funny word play now. Sit on your seat. Sit on your seat. As a modern phonics teacher or someone who do not attend this webinar, you might be tempted to say sit on your seat. No, it is sit on your seat. There we have the EA sound E. We also have receive. Mind you, given that that's not the focus, but I wanted to look at that transcription. K for the letter E in what you call receive. It's not receive. It is because the transcription of the E sounds it. So it's receive. Okay, but the focus is on the E. Focus on the E. Maybe that one. It's focus on the E. Receive, not, not to receive. Receive. So the EI there sounds E. There are exceptions to the rule, and the exception is if your Y is coming after a vowel sound, which would not sound easy to take it, it's a diphthong, okay? All right, so let's move on. Let's talk about diction focus, how to get started on a newly acquired skill. Now, diction focus is something we use at Stoller, you see? We use it to explain mispronounced word, especially what's about using our everyday collocation, everyday speaking. So we coined this phrase diction focus, and we use it to teach students oftentimes on the assembly ground. Sometimes we just put it on their board where they have the spellings focus for the week. So we just include ours there as a diction focus for the week. We just as far we adults at all like this, see, and I thought it would be great to share it with you. So we have the owl family. The owl family. There we have vowel, tau, bow. I've put the American and the British transcription there. But it sounds the same thing. It's the same thing. It's vowel, tau, bow. If you're still pronouncing it well, you're wrong. If you're still pronouncing it too well, you're wrong. If you're still pronouncing it well, you're very wrong. So we'll forward from today, whenever you find yourself speaking and you want to refer to the 5 vowel sounds and show that you pronounce it a vowel. And we are talking about the, all you tie around your waist when you have done in the battle. Please, it is tau, it is not towel. Bow, not bowel. Another very common mistake we have is the silent letters family. Here we have sword, not swore, not swore. That's the W very silent. So sword, be conscious of that. And then we have beret. This is a very interesting one because all the time you hear people say beret. Nope. It originates from a French word, so it's called beret. Oftentimes, the French language has the letter T at the end of the word silent, so that's why you hear words like beret, bouquet. Yeah, so those words happen to have silent T. Then we have sachet. Yes, another French word here. We try to encourage students or pupils that please do not say sachet of milk. It is sachet. I want a sachet of milk. Okay? Then we have the common one, which is Listen. Listen. Remember what I taught you about the letter I that sounds E, which is another example of it. So it sounds E, not E. So it is listen. Listen to me, not listen. It's not even worse than it than say listening. Like they install the T that is supposed to be silent, but you install it into that word. So it is listen, not listening. Okay? Moving on very quickly. Another set of words that I've observed that are commonly confused is the use of bath and bathe. Bath, bathe. Interestingly, even in terms of grammar usage, those words are commonly confused as well. I don't know why, but it's necessary for us to also understand these things. Remember in B1, we have shared that one of the ways to be a very successful phonics teacher or diction teacher is also to have a grasp of good grammar. So if your grammar is not very good, you would also struggle with certain things. So I want you as an assignment after this class to book check out the meaning of bath and the meaning of bathe and when should we use them. Okay, when should you use bath and when should you use bathe? And do have a difference in pronunciation. So if you're trying to say have you have your bath, that does not carry the spelling that, with a E spelling. But if you're trying to say I'll bathe it, I bathe, okay, then you have to add or include the E, the letter E, not the sound, the letter E. Okay, so these are commonly confused words because you search after this class to know when and where to use it. Our commonly confused word is look and loop. Look and look. If you remember day 2, we have talked about the short and long O sound, and we have referred that we have op and moo. So it is pronounced look at me, not you. If you can observe my lips, I didn't say I didn't put my mouth out. I made it go round. Look, oh, it's that O sound. So it's look. And then we have look. Okay? Please take note as well because we use this every day. Another common mistake is people still call Google Goggle. Although I wonder why. I still don't know why. But Google is Google. Google is the one you have to use, the glasses to protect your eyes from make it fire out something. Okay? Then another commonly confused word is pronounce. Pronounce on its own, where you ask someone to pronounce, that's a verb. Then pronunciation, that is a noun. So oftentimes people do they even realize that the spelling is different? If you're just noticing, congratulations. Yeah. So if you pronounce ows, ow, there's a shoe of the pronounce and pronunciation. 2 different pronunciations. We have it already. This one is for elocutionist. At the same time, for diction teacher. So we try to ensure that even if I just want to be a diction teacher, we're like, yeah, we get it, but please add elocution to it because you never can tell. Okay, so this one is Speak Your Way to Success, the elocution mastery course. All right, so those 2 together is things that we try not to separate. Okay, now this one focuses on introduction to elocution. It also talks about British RP. British RP refers to received pronunciation. It talks about Gen N. Gen N means American English. It also talks about introduction to intonation. It talks about how you can teach fluency. And then it also talks about public speaking practice. So this course, the Premium Diction Teacher course, and Speak Your Way to Success, the Elocution Mastery course, the current investment as of today right now is 300,000. Like I said, it's like a 1-month course. Okay, the first 3 months is a life class. The first putting weeks, is a life class. Then the subsequent weeks, you take that one at your pace okay, at your pace. All right, so the current investment is 300. However, for the next 48 hours, that is 2 days between now and the next 2 days, we give it a discount of 230,000. But if you're here, if you're currently on this webinar, if you're not part of this, I'll be watching it later, and you want to take advantage of this course, please pay 200,000 or me. Okay? Pay 200,000 or me. If it's intensive, but I want you to take note of this. This particular one is intensive. It is not you show up today, you won't show up tomorrow. No. So please, are you sure that you understand what it takes before you pay or you try to make any commitment? Ask yourself, what am I going to do that would make next year different for me financially? Okay? So if this is what you want to do, I would make the following year different financially, then please by all means take up this opportunity. I am making that personal appeal to you. I would also state that if you love teaching and you really think, I can do this for a long time, I like this field. I'm not a tech person. Everybody's doing tech now, right? Or you're like, I'm not a tech person. Or I've been a teacher for a very long time and I cannot think I can focus on this direction. Please take advantage of this at this time, okay? And try as much as possible to enroll for these courses. I'm going to take it again. So we have the Premium Phonics Teacher course. This is focused on literacy. And your target audience here are kids and adults that are learning how to read, or kids with a learning disability called dyslexia. Okay? It's 50,000 after 12 hours. But right now you can take advantage of it by paying 30,000 already. Then we also have the Premium Diction Teacher course, which is in tandem with Speak Your Way to Success. So whether you want to be a public speaker or you want to just be a diction teacher, we deliberately did not separate it. It's deliberate. Okay? We want you to take both of these courses. All right? The first part of the course is a live class. Persistently, we take you every day for 3 weeks. Trust me. It's not even convenient for any of our teachers or myself to do this. But that's the kind of investment. We want you to be that thorough. Why? We understand that this place is where a lot of people fumble. And you can actually build a brand, do the whole consulting, phonetics consulting firm with this. So want to ensure that you're very thorough while you're doing this. You can also build a consulting firm with phonics, by the way, let me mention. You can build you can be known as the literacy person. When it comes to literacy, everybody just say, oh, go to Sarah. Oh, you do know that Nini called Sarah. She's the, one of those top literacy person. Oh, go to Benedicta. Those people would help you. See, another beautiful thing is this. If you have kids, a niece of the man of that family, the man happened to be a lecturer, a very high profile lecturer. So his niece was brought from the village to live with them, and he was like, nobody lives in my house and they are not educated. So at that time she was 16 or so. Oh no, that was not my first client, my second client. My first client was actually a non-teaching staff in the University of Ibadan. Yes, a non-teaching staff at the University of Ibadan. That was my first client. So that particular person was my second client. So you can imagine these are adults, right? Exactly. So you can focus on just teaching phonics and literacy. And of all other things about intonation, it doesn't concern you. Your own focus is phonics and literacy. Okay? So in the Premium Phonics Teacher course, we're going to teach you how to become a phonics teacher, be A to Z. How to become a well-sought after literacy or phonics teacher. Who are your target audience and where do you find them? We're also going to teach you how to build a brand as a premium phonics teacher. Now, the cost for this is 50,000, and it's self-paced. That means you can take it at your schedule. We're not going to rush you. You take it at your leisure. You take it as determined or as hungry you are. Okay? but we're going to also help you. You'll be supported by the community. So when you have questions, we can always join the community. We'd question the community. There you have teachers that will be able to answer your questions. Now, the good thing is that there's a 12-hour discount. So between today, right now, the end of this webinar, and tomorrow, the discounts would provide you access to pay for this course at 30,000 only. I think you can take the screenshot of this account's details, and as soon as you're done, please chat any of the admins on the group wiki or receipt and say, okay, yes, I have this, and the next thing would be we'll send you access to this course. The premium phonics teachers course, which is actually 50,000 after 12 hours from now, can be gotten at the rate of 30,000 in the next 12 hours. Okay? You would focus on just becoming, on teaching B Tracy. It does not expose you to so many things that can make you feel so worried and scared of how do I get what? No, it focuses on V Tracy. Your target audience are very much, available all over the world. I think. Yes. So after 12 hours, it reverts to 50,000 no discount any longer. I think. So the next thing we want to move on to is the premium teachers course, understanding and teaching phonetics. This is deeper. This is geekier. This is more stimulating. I have to be honest with you, as a literacy phonics teacher, if you're serious with your course back to back, you can finish it in maybe 3 days. But you see, the premium diction teacher course, it will stretch you. Okay? And that is why I said if you're not very sure that you can be stretched maybe due to so many reasons, just stick with phonics. With phonics, all your kinds are kids who are learning to read, adults that I'm learning to read. Those are your kinds. You can be ESL too, that would mean. Okay? So ESL means English as a second language. Yeah, so that this means countries where people do not speak English as a first language, you can teach these kids, right? What is this one? Vision teacher course, understanding and teaching phonics. Personally, I take this course live. We don't record this. We teach this one live. Okay? Because it's something that helps you understand the nitty-gritty of phonetics. Okay? It helps you understand the English, A to Z of English language phonology, helps you understand greetings, helps you understand stress and syllables, what your target audience, where you can find them, how to become a well sought after diction teacher, how to view the brand as a premium diction teacher. Now, there's this part 2 of this course. This one is recorded with patient. Okay? So don't get tainted when you're speaking and you say, A is fine for your pronunciation. I hear that a lot. You hear people say, it's time for your pronunciation. No. It is not now. It is none. None. Pronunciation. So does not commonly confuse words that as a diction teacher, as I'm a locutionist, you want to look out for. Okay. So let's talk about how to get started on your newly acquired skills. I talked about how you can make money from your skills. Now let's talk about how you can get started with your newly acquired skills. Get ready, guys. So first, you want to determine where you want to start from. Do you want to start online? Do you want to start offline? Do you want to do ESL or do you want to go abroad? Okay. Number 2, you have to match your determination to your knowledge resource and develop that resource. I'm going to be honest with you that if I tell you, the 1 million I mentioned that you could make in a month, do you make it just like that, or you make it just because you're done with this class? That's not a very honest opinion. No. So your determination has to match your knowledge resource. I remember stating in B1 that after I attended a 3-day course, I have to reinvent. I have a lot of understanding, and for a year, on my bedside, I have my Bible and my dictionary. like both of them on my bedside. I was devouring content. I was making a research. And this was not a time where research was very, I believe in an Android phone. I can't believe Android phone was a thing in 2014. I don't think so because I didn't have one. Yeah. So I was using this Java phone, this techno, button and all. So it was not a thing. It's not, resources was not as available as it seems to be. So you have to ensure that your determination matches your knowledge resource and you develop that resource. Okay? You have to also map out a functional and a structured curriculum, especially if you're going to build a personal or a business brand around this. Okay? So you have to map it out. You can also reach out to us. We can help you with that. Now, you also have to leverage on research and brand positioning to get clients. One of the things you do not want to do if you do not want to misrepresent your brand. So I'm sure that if this is what you want to do, you want to build a brand as a solid phonics or diction teacher, get a different sim for it. For instance, if you know that you're into the tailoring profession, please do not use that same line for your brand. Create a different profile for it. Position yourself well. They might tell you that you can get IMET word planks. So you want to attract this kind of clients, then ensure that you're not coming across as beggarly. You're not coming across as unqualified. Okay? So make sure that you position yourself rightly so that clients can actually take you seriously. Okay, so what's the next step? How can we help you move from here? Some of you have identified that you want to talk about phonics. You just want to be a phonics teacher. And phonics here refers to you want to be able to teach lead tracing. You want to be able to teach phonics. Let me explain how you can use this only phonics skill to make money. So aside from teaching kids that are learning to read, okay, we can teach kids that have what we call dyslexia. Dyslexia is a learning disability that's where kids struggle to read. They often find the letters confusing and distracting. Okay, so as a phonics teacher, you can help kids, with dyslexia. If that would be your only focus, teaching kids how to read, whether online or physically. You can do that with schools that have early years. You can do that with kindergartens. Just focus on kindergartners. Now, you can also do that with adult education. So, where you have adults that are learning how to read, okay, you just teach them. I remember my first clients when I began to do private tutoring. My first client was the niece of, and you have this knowledge. Honestly, you are giving your kids an edge. Mom as well. And I remember that for a very long time, I wasn't very serious, but I was busy chasing money and working. So I wasn't very serious with my son reading until when he turned, when he turned 3. So the moment he turns 3, I began to take it very seriously. Like that, okay, we need to fix this now. All it took for me to teach my son how to read was 2 weeks. 2 weeks. I didn't stress it. It's just 2 weeks. Well, maybe that was so relaxed because I know the skill. I have the skill. I never that. So I knew that all I just needed to do is find time. And within 2 weeks, it was reading. I didn't have to sit down again to explain anything. It was reading within 2 weeks. It was spelling within 2 weeks. So as a parent as well, this can be very helpful for you. And if you're homeschool, perfect. Okay, so if you're homeschool, perfect. All right, so that's the end of this webinar. I'm so glad that you attended today. If you have any question, please drop it in the chat box. We'll be here for another 1 minute. If not, it's great to call it a day. Please leave your feedback on the WhatsApp group if you can. Okay, leave your feedback on the WhatsApp group. I promise you that this opportunity would come again, but it will come at a higher price. So after this course, please ensure that I can promise you that you wouldn't pay for any other course on this subject matter again. As long as you're in this community, you won't think. You won't. This is your one stop. Okay? So thank you so much for joining us today. You can drop your thoughts, your questions. I'll be here for the next 2 more minutes. I would be glad to take your questions. So you can drop it in the chat box. Thank you so much, everyone, and you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.